All right, welcome to the second episode of the Big Hair Big Licks podcast. Today, I am super excited to have an amazing guest, one of my good buddies, an extremely talented guy, one of my former bandmates, my dude. I know I said that about George last episode, but you are my dude, Mr. Mike Mason. How's it going, Mike?
Oh, it's going pretty well, buddy. How you doing?
Doing good, doing good. I don't feel right calling you. I'm just gonna call you Mason, because
That works, man.
yeah, because that's how I know you. Is Mason.
Works for me.
Let's kick it off here by asking the question that everybody kind of is asking each other. How are you doing during these pandemic times?
You know what, man? I'm pretty lucky. I've been keeping really busy. Kay, my brand new wife, and I.
Yeah,
Uh,
congratulations, by the way, my
Thank you very
man.
much. Appreciate it, man. Very excited about that. But we've put on close to 30,000 kilometers since COVID started. And we've just been driving around Manitoba, stopping when we need gas. That's about it. Going on hikes. Yeah, she and I kept very busy, so I'm pretty lucky about that.
That's awesome.
Um,
That's
yeah,
definitely a good thing.
there's a lot of people that are just stuck at home, and that just sucks. Like it's difficult, you know. But gas was cheap, and the kilometers are sitting there. Why not take them?
Exactly. No, I love that outlook. I love that very much. How has music been affected through the pandemic? Like, are you guys still practicing? I know, unfortunately, you had to cancel a tour. Um,
Yeah, I think the music world's been beaten to shit because of this. The just Inhumed in the small scale, Inhumed had to cancel a tour. You know, we had 4 dates going out west, and yeah, we had to scrap them all because the pandemic there. Um, and we did it before we had to cancel it, just because it was the right thing to do. You know. Didn't make sense to go out and roll the dice.
no, for sure. But you guys have been keeping busy regardless of the pandemic. Like, I know, like I came and saw you guys play at the Park Theater when they were letting shows go on there with limited capacity. How how do you feel? Well, of course, there's an obvious difference, but was there a big difference in performing with the limited capacity versus regular shows?
Um, yes and no. I mean, it was different looking out into the crowd and seeing people sitting in groups at a table and nobody standing. You know, that was a little bit weird. But at the end of the day, you're there to do a show, so it doesn't matter if they're sitting down. It doesn't matter if there's 500 people at the front of the stage or 7 people sitting at the table in the back corner. You got to go out there and you got to do your show. You know.
No, that's wicked. I love that. Let's move on from the pandemic and let's just go. Like, speaking of that show, one thing I noticed, and I love this so much, and this is a good segue into Inhumed, is people absolutely loved you guys, and they were going nuts. I was even going nuts because, like, you guys have such, like, a raw energy, and man, I'm just really proud of you guys, and you as a vocalist, like, you're just killing it, and
Thank you so
um
much.
yeah, no problem at all. Let's talk a little bit about that, like how you guys have built such a following locally, because people are going nuts for you guys. I was loving it.
Oh, I appreciate all the kindness there, man. That was great. But I mean, right at the end of the day, you gotta. It's when Ian's writing a riff, people want to hear it. You know, Ian's an amazing guitarist. You throw Blair behind him, that's a killer combo. And now that we can stack it with Nick and, or sorry, the Murderlizer and and Liam, you know, we're laughing now. I think the band that I am doing vocals with is amazingly talented, and it makes it easy for me to be up there with them. Um, but sorry, what was the question there? I missed that
Oh, it's
one.
just, yeah, no worries at all. It's just like you guys seem to have a really massive following locally. Like, people just love you guys. Can you talk a little bit about what you had to do to gain that following? Like, of course, you guys have amazing songs, but like, is it playing lots of shows? What do you think you can attribute that to?
Yeah, we've definitely done a lot of shows. When we were gearing up to do a show, I guess it was 2 years ago now, we were doing a couple shows, planned a couple shows in November, and then a couple more shows got tacked on, a couple more shows. We ended up doing 6 shows between Winnipeg and Portage la Prairie. We ended up doing 6 shows in that 1 month just to record an album. Every show that we do, we try to make it, throw something memorable in it. You know, whether it be a good example is that show you were at. I'm sure I was standing on a table, right?
Yeah, you were. Yeah,
I've never done that before. You know what I mean? So that's that. You know, that's part of what we can do now. You know, you can bring the show a little bit bigger. Yeah, you know, it's just you got to get out there. You got to do your shows. Don't oversaturate yourself. If you can keep up with the pace, then and keep coming out with new songs, new material, then do as many shows as you can. You know, if you're keeping things fresh and you know, it's not grinding on you. It's not like you're not sitting there going, "Man, I'm sick of playing this song." You know, once that starts happening, pump the brakes a little. You know.
yeah.
For the following though, I think it's I think people see that we're out there doing our thing. You know, we work hard and we're coming out with material regularly. We've got an EP coming out soon. We've got a good portion of Volume 2, like the second Inhumed album, finished. Yeah, you know, you just got to keep progressing and keep people interested in your band. Merch. Keep coming out with new cool merch. People want shirts.
That's wicked. Yeah, I saw you guys just had a new design recently. And speaking of the EP, that's the I Feel Nothing vinyls that you guys have out. The limited copies, right? You said 25?
Yeah, there's only 25 of them made. It's a 7-inch single. They're going to be on clear vinyl. They're fancy, man. They're stereo lathe cut. So each album is recorded in real time. You know, they're hand numbered. There's only 25 copies. Yeah, man, it's real deal, man. I'm very excited for them.
That's awesome. How do you feel vinyl compares to like CDs these days? And I also want to talk about the cassette you guys came out with, The Defiance of Faith.
That'll be the whole thing with cassettes. I think is they're fucking cool, man. Like, so everybody wants a cassette tape, you know what I mean? So that was just a great idea. Actually, Nick, our bass player, the Murderlizer, he has a cassette company, and it's called Frozen Hell Records. So he's made a lot of this much more simple than it would have been otherwise. But yeah, so the cassette, it's just cool, man. That's all I got for that one. But as for vinyl to CD, there's something about the crackle, man. I love vinyl. I don't know why. I don't know what about the crackle that grabs me, but it doesn't let go, you know.
It's just like natural. Like it's almost like that's the way music is meant to be listened to.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you're sitting there as the band's setting up and playing in front of you, you know, like it's warmer, you know.
Yeah. 100%. What was the decision to Pardon?
It seems more human, you know. It's less it's less of a computer. It's less digital. It's more whatever the hell the opposite of digital is. Organic. There you go.
Yeah, no, exactly. No, I feel the same way. What was the decision to go with vinyl? Is it just kind of like that organic, natural kind of a sound, or was this something you guys were planning a while back. And do you plan on doing it in the future?
Yeah, I think we'll definitely be doing more vinyl work. Uh, I'm thinking we're most likely going to redo Volume 1 with some vinyls. Once Volume 2 is out, we'll have that on vinyl, I'm sure. But yeah, I think the choice to use vinyl is definitely more expensive for bands, but it's definitely more worth it because then you have this. To me, it's more reputable. You know, it's something other than just a CD. You know, anybody could have a CD. It's the next step from a CD. You know.
I feel like people, when they buy a vinyl, it's more of like like you're proud of it, like you own what's the word I'm trying to find? It's
It's a
not like
collector's item.
exactly, that's what
Yeah.
exactly it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you're starting up a collection of, and like another really cool thing about that to me is local vinyl, like local band vinyl. That's fucking cool, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Having a big stack of that, that's cool. You know, that's something to show off, I think.
For sure. No, 100%. Just going back to the band and the following and everything. I saw that you guys formed in 2016. Um Talk a little bit about that journey, because I know, like, for people who know, we played in a band together, Leica, and then shortly after that disbanded. Everybody kind of went and did their own things. What was the timeline? Let's start from Leica. What was the timeline from Leica to Inhumed?
Well, you guys stopped showing up for jam, and it was me, Blair, and Ian. So, yeah, no, we kind of started writing Inhumed before it was Inhumed, but before Leica was even broken up, because it was very often just because Blair and I lived together, and Ian doesn't miss a jam, right?
Mhm.
So it just worked out that way. The drum kit was in the house, I was home. Let's go jam. Um, so yeah, Inhumed, it was just kind of, we wanted to do something different from Leica, but
Yeah.
we didn't want to stop Leica yet. And then I was actually playing bass still at the time, so I was the first bassist technically in Inhumed, but that was pretty short lived because not the best bass player, and that's okay.
Oh man, you got to give yourself more credit. I want to talk about that as well, like going from being a bassist to a vocalist. But man, you were an incredible bass player. You are an incredible bass player. I love your playing. But besides that, you like that fact, like.
You know what? I gotta say, I am not a bass player anymore at all. My bass has been in my basement for months.
Well, there's nothing
I'm
wrong with
just
that.
I'm vocals now. I've moved on. But going from one to the other, it wasn't very difficult really, because my job when I was in Leica was to do what Ian told me and take pressure off George live, right?
Yeah.
So that kind of trained me how to act in front of a crowd without any actual pressure on me to do that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, for sure, 100%.
Yeah. So that kind of showed me how to be a front man. So other than actually doing the vocals, everything was already there. You know, I just had to figure out how to do the vocals, and thank God that came easy. And I shouldn't say easy, but quickly, I should say. But yeah, it was a lot of trial and error, a lot of sore throats, a lot of learning how to not do it before I figured out how to do it, you know. Um, but yeah, we were trying out vocalists, and I was showing them how to do it, like how we had it phrased. And we decided I'm going to be the vocalist instead of the bassist, and we found a bassist, and yada yada.
That's
Vocals ever since.
that's pretty wicked. So you don't miss bass at all, or do you ever write? Like, do you and Ian write? Like, do you ever play bass at all, or?
Ever. I really don't, man. My musical input now is lyrics, but I can smash out a song right quick, you know.
Well, that's weird. Let's talk a little bit about your lyrics because they're
Uh-oh.
vicious and they're raw and they're powerful. Hey, I love them. When I remember when I went to that show to see you guys, and you came over, and I forget exactly what you said, but you described the new song you guys were gonna play, and the way you described it, you're like, yeah, the lyrics are about this, and I was just like, oh, whoa.
That's probably Feverish Reign of a God King.
Yeah.
About a guy who rises to power and his citizens rise up against him, and his only recourse is to rain napalm upon them. This song is called Feverish Reign of a God King. I say that before every time we play that song.
That's wicked. What's your inspiration behind your lyrics? Like they're so vivid. Like
nothing. It's literally I have no inspiration. It's literally just I get a phrase, or like if I'm watching a movie and they say something that sounds cool, I'll rhyme something with that, and then I can write a song over it. And it's like, I shouldn't say a song. Whenever people say, what's it like to be a musician or whatever, I always tell them I'm not a musician. If anything, I'm a disgusting poet. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not playing notes. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm doing what I do. I have a lot of fun doing it. But yeah, man, it's just I'm the lyric guy now. I don't really touch bass at all.
No, that's wicked though. The lyrics are great. The songs are great. What's the songwriting process like? Like, is it mostly Ian and Blair jamming, and then they bring the idea to the jam space? Because I just want to add, anybody who doesn't know, Ian's riffs are fucking ridiculous. Like, my fingers hurt when I think about them.
That's why I stopped playing, because he's the only guy I could play with. I didn't want to play with anyone else.
It's unreal.
I told Ian actually a while ago, I said I stopped playing bass and picked up a microphone because I'm not done ruining Ian's bands yet.
No, but that's awesome. So what is the songwriting process like?
Ian usually comes up with riffs, and then Blair will do his take on them. And right now, because everyone's still kind of new, well, actually, up until about now, I should say, because Liam and Nick are bringing ideas left, right, and center now, because I think they've really tapped into Ian's style, you know. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, Ian normally will come with a riff, and he'll come with some riffs in the most part of a song, or he'll ask me, "Do you have any lyrics written?" So if I have a song about, I'm a cactus, I'll be like, I have a song about a cactus, and then he'll think of a cactus and start playing riffs and throw a song together. Like, the way Ian writes is mind blowing to me. Yeah, like the guy, and we have a song on the Volume 2 coming up. It's called "Feasted Upon Like Carry On." And it's about being eaten alive by birds. And I told Ian that, and he wrote this riff. And to me, I can like see birds pecking at parts in this song. Like, it's insane. Like, the guy's unbelievably talented.
Oh, that's great. You guys all are unbelievably talented. Like, the one thing I noticed, because like for me as a guitarist, I had a lot of trouble keeping up with Ian. And I noticed that Nick and Liam had no problem. They were right there just killing it. Like, I was just blown away by how tight you guys were. And
those two are phenomenal. Like, I know pretty much everybody in the local metal scene, and I don't think I could pick two better dudes to be in this band with. And the fact that they were both interested to be in is humbling. You know, they're amazing musicians. Every jam, they blow my mind.
Yeah, it's incredible. That mixture of like the tight band with just vicious power, and then you as the front man, like going back to it, like that one move you did where you're looking at the crowd, you're like, and you're making them like interact. I just love that so much, man. Where did you learn that stuff? Like, you were saying, George.
I learned that one from Hulk Hogan, brother. It was. What were you saying there?
Oh, just where you kind of learned and created your frontman style. Like I know you were saying you learned it from like um backing up Dorge and stuff, but like it's pretty phenomenal what you put out there on the stage.
Thank you, man. I it's got to be 90% spur of the moment to me, and it's in the moment. Yes, I do the same things every single show, and that's just for continuity, and that's just because it makes me laugh. Really, I'm sure my band is getting sick of hearing the God King speech, and every time we have a song called "Inhumed." And every time before we play that, I say, who out there has seen us before? For those of you who have not, we are Inhumed. This song is called Inhumed, and it goes exactly like this, and the song starts. So I've got these little speeches I do before everything, but for the most part, during the songs, I kind of get into a character, but it's not... I think I just get into the lyrics maybe, and I just stomp around the stage, and I look angry, and I'm in the character, And then in between songs, you're looking at me again. You know what I mean? And then the next song starts, and I hit my chest a couple times, and then we're back in.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's all just it's really just spur of the moment for the most part, and then a bit of routine, I suppose, but. Yeah, just do what you want to do. Make it look cool. Have fun when you're doing it. That's super important.
No, that's all, and that's definitely what you look like you're having fun, and you look like you're in your element. Let's move on from music, playing music right now, and let's move on to something a little more serious. The music business. Now, how do you navigate handling Inhume's business and dealing with booking shows and just dealing with the business side of music?
I think I'm fortunate that I came up with Dorge. Like Jordan Dorge showed me how to book shows. Jordan Dorge gave me the contacts for all the venues. Jordan Dorge gave me this, that, and the other thing, and he really showed me how to do it because he was stepping away and wanted somebody to take his spot, so to speak. So that's kind of how I got into that, and I ended up moving up to being the booking agent at the Windsor Hotel. So like I ran a night at a nightclub trying to book bands, and people weren't having that for some reason. But yeah, really just the business part of it. You just like we haven't really hit the festivals and stuff yet. Our plan the entire time is to do 2 albums and then start hitting festivals. So the business part hasn't been too hard. And again, I'm very privileged that I was shown how to book shows from Jordan. So it's been pretty easy so far. That being said, I've really kind of stepped back from managing now, and Nick has taken over because he's also the vocalist of punk band Suburban Hypocrites.
Right. Yeah,
so
yeah.
He's got connections everywhere. So he's messaging a buddy for booking a show in Edmonton. Do you know what I mean? So he's super, super handy to have.
No, that's pretty awesome. When you were doing it, let's talk a little bit about booking bands at the Windsor. When you were doing it, was it like a big eye opener into like one thing I was talking about to Dorge about, and one thing I want to talk about with all the guests on the podcast is just like professionalism and handling yourself when doing the business side of things. Like you're a guy who has a lot of fun playing music, but you're also super professional. Like when it comes to handling the business and doing what needs to be done, you've always been super professional. How does that correlate with what you do in Inhumed and even booking bands at the Windsor there?
Well, the Windsor's gone now, but when I was doing that, really all the bands, especially the local bands, there's a couple that would come late. Some of them would come late every show you booked them for, but you knew they were coming, Mm-hmm. But especially like specifically local bands were always super respectful, and 95% of the touring bands were. you know, I've booked Angel Maker, Proto Sequence, Split a Striker show. You know, so I've done some big Canadian bands, you know, and they were all phenomenal, super great people. So yeah, I mean, it's been pretty easy. And it's all about respect, you know. As long as, so yeah, as long as everybody's got respect, there's never an issue of being professional or not, you know. You can joke around and you can do this and that, so long as everybody's getting paid, and if there's a agreement made, that agreement is fulfilled.
Yeah. No, 100%. And just kind of going off the same topic, you've always been a real champion of up and coming bands, like newer bands. And I've noticed that even when there's like newer musicians or somebody who's kind of like, even when we went on tour, like I always looked at you as kind of like a big brother. Like you showed me the ropes and hello, sorry, my camera went off there.
We're good.
All good. But yeah, you showed me the ropes, and you've always been super supportive of people kind of who are new at this or kind of building their name. Does that mean something to you to be able to be in the position to bring people up like that? Like,
absolutely. That's one of my main prides, is helping these young bands. I've kind of stepped away from it now. Other than Inhumed shows. With Inhumed shows, I try to get a new band to open every time. You know, and I don't mean a new band every show. I mean a band that's new to the scene. So, you know, Cause of Death was one that jumps in my head. You know, they were great. But there's a bunch of them. I'm wearing a Murder Capital shirt right now. These guys are amazing.
Yeah.
You know, so like there's so many local bands that sorry, going back to your question, when I remember Leica, sometimes it was hard for us to get shows, you know, and then that sucks, you know. It sucks when it's challenging to go do what you want to do. It's not fun, you know, until you get up there. So I try and make it as easy as I can. You know, I want these young guys to not get discouraged, being like, there's no venues that want us to play at them, you know, this, that, and this. I want them to come play with a band that has a bit of a following, and, you know, come see these new guys.
Mm-hmm. That's actually why I brought that question up, was Cause of Death, because like I saw you guys were playing with them, and I just thought that was so awesome that like here's this new band, like young guys coming up, and then here's like you who's been in the scene, like carrying them under your wing and showing them the ropes. I love that stuff very much, and I think that's awesome.
Thank you, man. No, it's something that has to be done, and I'm sure there's somebody in every scene that does it, you know. And I'm not the only one that does it here either. Don't let that guy on me to say that either. But yeah, you know, it has to be done. You have to help the young guys. You have to help them. You have to help them get their footing, you know.
Mm-hmm. With that being said, here's a segue into a question, kind of a loaded question. What do you think the future of music is right now?
Yeah, that's a hard one, man. Like, I think it's got to be online. It's got to be streaming shows. I've heard of bands doing the drive-in concerts. That'd be cool, but like it's going to be different, at least for a while. I mean, venues will come back. You know, the buildings are sitting there. It's going to come back. The question is, how long is it going to take? You know, everybody just has to stay the fuck home.
Yeah, just stay home, for the love of God. Just stay home.
Right? I want to get on stage, damn it.
Yeah. Well, perfect. Well, we'll start to wrap this up here. I just got one more question for you.
Sure.
What does your future look like in terms of music? Are you gonna be releasing, like, I know you've got Volume 2 coming out. What are your plans for your future in music?
My personal plans, or plans for Inhumed?
Just overall, like Inhumed, yourself.
I'll spill one bean for you. I'm working on another project with some other local musicians, and so that's going to be something fun. Hi, Erica. Gotcha. But yeah, so I've got a project coming out, and it's not my project. I shouldn't say that. It's 5 guys from 5 bands, and we're coming out. We're gonna hit it pretty hard here. But that's all the bean. That's the bean I'm going to spill for that. As for Inhumed, we're probably 6 songs of, I'm going to say 9 or 10 for Volume 2 in. We have the single coming out on vinyl, again, clear vinyl. That's cool as fuck. We just released our Defiance of Faith EP on cassette tape. We've got Volume 1 on CD. We've got shirts galore coming out. We're pushing hard. Keep your eyes on social media there.
Hell yeah! There's speaking of social media, thank you, by the way, for spilling that news there, because that's super exciting. I can't wait to see that project. That's gonna be amazing.
It's something, dude. It's something.
Great. Awesome. What are your social media? Do you guys have Facebook, BANDCAMP, Twitter? Do you guys have Twitter?
No, we don't do the Twitter one, but we have Inhumed Canada is our at Inhumed Canada for Instagram, and then Facebook is just Inhumed. Yeah, we do have the BANDCAMP, but I'm bad at this sort of stuff. So that one I'm blanking on. I'm pretty sure that one will be in Inhumed Canada also. I'm sure you'll be able to find it with that anyway.
I'll link everything in the bio as well. So.
There you go. Yeah, there we go. You're probably better at this than I am.
I'd say, hey, that's one that I gotta get better at social media. So.
Hey, it'll happen, buddy.
Yeah. But no, perfect. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this interview today, Mason. Like I said, you're one of my good buddies. You're one of my heroes, somebody I look up to in the scene, and thank you for being one of the good guys, and always helping people, supporting people, and just being badass at what you do.
Thank you, brother. I truly appreciate that. Thank you, Ronnie.
No problem. And once again, congratulations to you and Kay. I saw that, and that just amazing.
We got the roses there.
Beautiful. I love it. Right on.
Right,
well, super excited for everything you got coming, and we'll see you later. Stay safe and take care.
Cheers, brother.
All right. Peace out.
Take care.